Hello all, welcome! And if you're just joining us and you haven't seen the first two videos, click the screen now. You'll be redirected to one of the first videos. And if you're following the series, finally, this is the third video. This is what you've been waiting for. This is the meat and the potatoes. This is how to get Steam games the cheapest you can possibly get. And so I'm gonna dive right into that. I'm gonna make it as short as possible because there's a lot to cover, like a lot. So to start off, I need to start explaining how exactly this method is going to work and why it works, because otherwise you're not going to understand it. So right now we have the new Steam sales. Hoorah, look at this. I'm not too thrilled, whatever. So, let's go to store.steampowered.com. You can see, whoa, Jeremy, your screen, it's a little bit different there, man. Well, yeah, so it's got these weird symbol things and the weird numbers, and it's not in USD. Well, there's a reason for that. This PY6, this is a ruble. So 1 ruble is 1 PY6, at least on Steam. And what a ruble is Russian currency. Now, you know, I wonder, why are we using Russian currency? Well, because Russia's poor. And I'm not even joking about that. Because Russia, their economy sucks so much that they lower the Steam game prices. And as you can see, 99, well, you know, we really don't know how much any of this is. And so let's go to Google Translate. 99 rubles to USD. And we can see that 99 rubles is $2.873, okay? Well, wait a minute, I saw a game for 99 rubles a second ago. That was this, Contagion. Well, let's go back to Steam. Contagion is $4.99. But yet, in Russia, it is $2.87. That's a little bit over half the price. So let's look at another game, like Terraria, 49 rubles. 249. $1.42. Now in this case, nope, it still is cheaper. $1.99. Now, why this happens? I told you, the economy sucks there. Steam has not done anything about it. I've been trading for Russian games for quite a long time, a year I would say. And that's basically what I'm getting at, is that you need to find someone, you can't just buy these, by the way. You have to be in Russia to buy these. So you need to find a Russian dealer, like drugs, but you need to find a Russian dealer, and there's plenty of them all over the internet, and they're trustworthy sometimes, but you just gotta make sure that you're not getting scammed. And I'll show you why in a second. But Russian dealers, they're easy to find, and some are reliable, some are not. There's ways to tell, but see this thing, 181.25 compared to 4.99. See how many this is. That's $5. $5 for Nosgos, whatever, compared to $5. See, you know, this one you're actually losing profit in America. And actually, yeah, you can see right here, it says $4.99. You get a decrease in America, and I'm using a plugin actually for these games because I trade so much, and it'll tell me. So like DuckTales, 101 rubles. Let's give it a second. And then I go to DuckTales, and then wait for the plugin to load. There we go. Not available in this region. Why is this not available in this region? Here we go, perfect point. One of the reasons that people don't like trading with Russians is because sometimes you can get scammed. And what I mean is this DuckTales Remastered is RU/CIS. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's only available in Russia. And yeah, it's only available in Russia, and you can only activate it in Russia. So if you get traded in RU/CIS game, do not do that, because that game is bad, because it's only available in those regions. It's only available in the Russian region and a couple other regions that are not American. So that's bad. You don't want to do that. And that's why this is the reason why I said, and that's called region locking, by the way. Steam region locks some games. And you can check on Steam, the Steam database, I'll provide a link. There's a database that tells you the tags for all these games and what is region locked and what is not region locked. So remember how I said that see, you're using the Steam store for the RU region. Click here to go back to the US store. I don't want to do that. Inventory. I mentioned that community gifts. I mentioned that The Witcher 2 was a good game to trade because there's no fluctuation in price, and there's no drop in price. Well, why is that? Because The Witcher 2, despite, I don't know why it's not showing right now. Yep, here we go. Notice, purchases made in Russia are only playable in Russia, Armenia, and a whole bunch of other weird countries. Sorry, other countries, I don't mean to hurt your feelings. But this game right here, it's a good gift, because if you're in the US, you can use this against the Russians, and it's going to have a higher price. It's going to have a price of $4, or whatever it was on sale. Or actually maybe even higher, because Russians can't trade it for 209, which is so like Russians can't trade it for $6 if it's $9 right now in US, and so they can't lower the price of this game. And because they can't lower the price of this game, it's a good game to trade. And that's one of the things you wanna try to get at, is you wanna find games. If you wanna trade games for games, you wanna find games that are, that's weird. Look at that. One of these games must be not available in Russia. Which one is it? Waste? Dragon Age. Yeah, Dragon Age. Huh, that's interesting. Well then apparently that's another good game, is Dragon Age, because it's not available in Russia, apparently. Or at least it's missing from the Steam home. Yeah, look at that. That's weird. So that's one of the things you wanna try and get, is games that Russians can't lower the price if you want to trade. If you want the lowest possible, see, look, Skyrim, 99 rubles right now. You know how cheap 99 rubles is? That's $2.83 compared to the Steam's, the non-Steam. Oh, here you go. This is the reason why. See, they have a really good price for it, but it's only available in Russia. So, Skyrim, you cannot get it for cheap. Well, you can, but you can only get it for whatever this is. $4.99. You cannot get it any lower than $4.99 unless you're in Russia. And I would not recommend trading for Russian copies of games that are locked, because you can't use them. It's a waste of money. Okay, so those websites I mentioned, the Reddit website, I'm gonna go back to this. Russian Steam Store Summer Sales. Want keys? This is a really good thread. There are threads like this all over. So, like, any game, taking your request provides links if you can. Amnesia, 2 keys. Garry's Mod, 2 keys. State of Decay, 2 keys. You know, all of these games, they're lower keys than what it normally costs to buy them in US. And this is the reason why, is because Russian stores are cheaper and they're poor, basically. To put it bluntly, yeah. So now that you know how it works, and Steam GameSwap is a great website to go to look for help, or like I said, the Traders Guild, there's Russians in there. As you can see, this user Verdad1 is obviously a Russian. You can add him. I have a couple Russian dealers that I go to that give me better prices than what Verdad1 would give me, because they know me, and they barely make a profit because they're poor. How not to get scammed is another thing. So, when you trade for an item, in the trade window, something will pop up, and it will say RU plus CIS, and I'll show you an example of that now. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So now what's happened is I've gotten a friend to help me out, and this is an example of trading. So when you drag and drop your game, what you need to look out for is when you hover over. This is how to tell if it's an RUCIS game. Ready to trade. Haha, you're funny. It'll say Steam Gift, and then underneath it will say RUCIS, like around where it says The Witcher 2. Normally it would say like Deluxe Edition, or see if I go to Dragon Age, which is, yep, here we go. Here's a perfect example. Fallout New Vegas, Eastern. That means it is missing some. Eastern is the type of game it is, so it's missing some languages. I think it's missing Russian or something. It's a not full experience, basically. You don't want that. This is a bad game that you wouldn't want to trade for normally. Except it would say like Fallout New Vegas Ultimate -RUCIS or something along those lines. And you don't trade for that. That's what scamming people do to you. And what will happen is that when you get the game in your inventory, you can't actually activate it, and you're just kind of stuck there with a game you can't use, and it stinks. It really does. One of the things that can happen though is that when you trade somebody, it'll say like, oh, this is the American version, but later on it will roll back, and it's called retroactive. Steam calls it retroactive locking. So they look back and they're like, oh, you know, you traded for this game and it just came out and we didn't put the correct Steam ID on it, so we're gonna lock it to RU because, you know, you got it from Russian. And that's not a good thing because obviously you couldn't use it if that happened. But if you add it to your library, so say Witcher 2, or Witcher 3, this is a great example. Witcher 3 currently, right now, is 9 TF2 keys, and which is about $18. So $18 for Witcher 2, or Witcher 3, my bad. $18 for Witcher 3, and you can pre-order it, and then you can add it to your library, and you'll be set. Nothing can happen to you. But if you get The Witcher 3, and for $18, which, I mean, honestly, this is the power of Russian, because it's amazing. $53 right now. 10% off. Copy page URL. $629 rubles, which once my plugin loads, if my plugin loads, it's not gonna load. Whatever. 629 rubles to USD. $18. So for $18, you can get The Witcher 3 right now. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. What happened was something. Anyway, so but like I said, The Witcher 3, $629. It is a huge decrease in America. Or look, that increase. It's like 195% increase in America. That is ridiculous. But right now you can get it for $18 and you'll be fine as long as you activate it. If you leave it in your inventory, you're going to be SOL later on. And that's why if you get a game like this quickly, and it's not RU, this is not an RU game right now. So what that means is it's not Russian only. And look, even this, save more 10% if you own the Enhanced Edition or Witcher 2. So I mean, that's even a better deal. So basically, what you need to do for this game, like, say we want to get this game, we would have to get 9 keys, I believe it is right now. Let's look at this thread. Witcher 2. Witcher 3, maybe. Can I get 2 copies? Oh, he doesn't trade them because he knows, like, oh, you know, that stuff's gonna go bad eventually unless you activate it. So, I mean, it's kind of risque. The Witcher. Should have searched the subreddit. Witcher 3. Look at that, 1 day ago. So I'm gonna add this guy. No, I'm not actually gonna add him, but Witcher 3 pre-order, just 9 keys. Look at that deal. That is a really good deal, and this is why I recommend that everybody gets into trading, and this is the whole point of the video, is that you can take a $53 game and get it for 18 bucks. So, how do we get this? Well, we need keys. This is what they deal in. This is what Russians deal in, and everyone else, they deal in keys. It's a currency. Well, how do I get keys? There's 2 ways you can get keys. You can go to the community market, which is what a lot of people do, which new people do, which I do not recommend. Ooh, wow, treasure keys are $179. That's a big price drop. But that's actually a huge price drop. Wow. TF2 keys, community, market. First thing, 223 right now. First supply crate key. This is the key that you need. 223, buy now. But I'm not gonna buy now, because if you hit buy now, that's some money that's lost. You know, that's almost 30 cents that goes to someone else. And you can get rid of that. You can get rid of that extra 30 cents. And here's how you do it. You have to have PayPal. And PayPal is... If you don't have PayPal, you can buy it from here. But the most efficient way to get stuff is from PayPal. And this is one of the things that you can easily get scammed on. Oops, wrong button. If you don't know what you're doing. So let's go to source OP. I'll have links in the description for all of this. Buying keys at 1.85 USD or 1.36 euros. Verified PayPal fees are on me. Really? Oh, this guy's buying keys. Never mind. We want someone who's selling keys. Want to buy, want to buy, want to buy, want to sell. That's blue. 1.95. Ooh, many keys at 1.85. Now you gotta watch out. If something's at 1.85 compared to 1.95, because that's like going rate of keys, it's probably because they're in a different country. You must go first, and you must have rep. Those are the rules. And to get rep, it's gonna be hard, but you gotta probably buy from one of these guys first, the 1.95. Rep is reputation, which means when you do a successful trade, you rep the other person. You're like, hey, this guy's good. You can trade with him again, and you can do that on your Source OP profile or your Steam profile. But here, this guy, he's more strict. You must send the money first, unless you have hundreds of rep in Source OP. Only verified PayPal accounts. This is important. When you make your PayPal account, you have to get it verified by a bank or a credit card or something like that, because otherwise you can charge back, and they don't like that, because that's when they get scammed at this point. Payment must be sent as family or friends, which is something you need to do. You must pay all fees if there are any, and then in the PayPal payment, you must write, I am purchasing virtual items in TF2, and I will not issue a chargeback or dispute under any circumstance. And this guy's selling only 10 keys per transaction. Post here before adding me. Okay. Fair enough. But I like this 1.5 guys. This 1.5 guy. So, if we pull up our handy dandy calculator, 1.85 times 9 is 16.65. As you can see, we can currently get The Witcher 3 for $16.65. That's a pretty darn good deal. And, I mean, even if we did the 1.95 guy, so 1.95 times 9, oops, times 9, $17. That's still only a $1 increase. And this is what I'm saying, you need to try to get the lowest prices possible when you buy your keys. So, 16 bucks for The Witcher 3. It's insane. And it's pretty good. Now, something you also want to watch out for if you're going to have like a friend do it for you, Sometimes, you know, they're gonna bump you up a key because they want to make profit. You know, that's okay if you're fine with doing that. If you're fine paying an extra $2, $18 instead of $60, go ahead. But, you know, you can do it yourself, and you can get better prices than most other people. And this is something that not everybody tells people, because, you know, they like to have middlemen, which is what your friend would be, and they like to have middlemen can be good sometimes if it's like, you know, if it involves a trade that you don't trust, like codes. Codes you want to have a middleman for, or have a mod, or make sure they have rep. And when you swap codes, like if he has a code for Witcher 2, or for whatever, and if you got it off the AMD Never Settle bundle, because when you buy a GPU you get a free code, and he wants like 5 TF2 keys for it, that's a fine trade. You just gotta make sure and watch your back what you're doing. And you gotta be careful, because people want to rip you off, and they will. When I first started out trading, I got extremely ripped off in TF2. I remember so bad, I was pathetic. But now I'm like the master of trading. I can take, you know, Vortex, which was like $1 game, and I can end up getting 10 copies of Skyrim. And it's something you have to work up to. You have to know what you're doing. It takes a long time to do that, but you can do it. And that's what I'll get at in this video, is that through the power of trading, you can get any Steam game you want for, you know, basically free. Not basically free, but a very, very reduced price. Like, go to my profile. These are games I haven't activated, they're just trading games. 329 games owned. Let's see. There's a website, Steam Value Profile. And my Steam, there you go. Get this value and size of your Steam account. And let's see how much my Steam account's worth. 329, 141 DLC. Get disappointed in your life. Okay, here we go. I like this. Okay, so Cheeseman 78. Press enter. And then we wait for the disappointment in my life. So I have 1,000 hours on record, but we don't care about that. This is another thing you want to do. SteamDB.info. Steam database. It's very helpful. VAC ban, which means if they cheated, it'll tell you if they cheated. You need to watch out for this, so you don't get scammed. Community ban, in good standing. So if they got banned from a community or something. Trade ban, if they did something wrong. These are all my games. 4 years ago. Games Master 12. Haha, that's cool. So, for $4,000, roughly my Steam account is worth $4,000. However, I did not spend $4,000 on my Steam account. I've spent probably $500 max on my Steam over the course of 4 years. And that's what my account has turned into because of, you know, because of Steam sales and because of Russians. And you just gotta play your cards right, get started in the trading industry, and I say industry because people actually make a living off trading. People do it, and this is how, when you buy those keys, and then when you buy from Russians, those guys, it's not a hobby, it's their living. And, I mean, some people hobby it, but there's a lot of hardcore people that strictly do it for their job. And that's why you're going to see people who aren't going to try to help you. It's because they don't have time to help you. They have better things to do because, you know, this is their livelihood. This is how they get paid. So if someone tries to scam you, just watch what you're doing. If you need help, comment below. If there's anything else that I didn't explain or you think I could have explained better, comment below. See you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope I educated you guys a little bit about how to get Steam games cheaper than, you know, what they're currently advertised at. It's $53 for 18. That's a pretty darn good deal. I think I'm gonna hop on that in a minute, actually. But if there's any more questions or comments or concerns, let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Goodbye.